Golf Channel, and the LPGA Tour proudly present the season-long race to the CME Globe. From Kingsmill Resort, it's continuing coverage of the Kingsmill Championship presented by Geico. Oh, it had already been a rainy week when we teed off on Thursday morning. We got the entire first round in, but then Friday, an hour delay to the start of the second round tee times. Then the rain came again later on Friday. Play was halted Friday night because of puddling on the greens, as you see here, puddling in the landing areas. So they decided to come back this morning, and this was the scene earlier today. The crew began getting here at 2 a.m. to get the course ready to resume at 7:30. Then another squall came in. It washed out so much of the work they had already done. And so the resumption of round two, with 60 players still needing to finish their second round, kept being pushed back and pushed back and pushed back to the point that play was finally called for the day. Grant Boone, Judy Rankin here as we look at our Volunteers of America tournament summary. And Judy, we see the second round officially suspended last night, 7:25. They tried to come back this morning. We now know it's a 54-hole event, and we're keeping our fingers crossed for that many.
The forecast and what has already come through here is pretty dire.
Of course, we had the 36-hole event just 2 weeks ago in Dallas because of high winds and heavy rain, and Sung Hyun Park was the official winner of that event. So while we have a moment, let's send it down to Jerry Foltz with Sue Witters of the LPGA.
Thank you, Grant. I'm here with LPGA Vice President of Rules and Competition, Sue Witters. We see Sue quite often, usually under unfortunate circumstances like this. But before we get into the different scenarios and hypotheticals, I think we all owe a huge debt of gratitude to Superintendent Mike Pierce and his crew, don't we?
Here, here. I mean, they have been unbelievable. Out at here at 3 o'clock in the morning, Mike and his crew have just been on it from day one. And big thank you. I know they've worked so hard, and they were so disappointed today with the weather we did get. And my heart breaks for them because they really turned it out.
Well, hopefully tomorrow the fruits of their labor will be seen in an exciting and hopefully sunny finish. Where do we stand right now from a course condition standpoint?
Well, we took on over 1.2 inches today, and we got a lot more in that first burst than we thought we were going to, which pretty much put us out of business. Course is extremely wet. This non-rain weather is fantastic for it. It'll help it dry out. A little bit of wind is really good. We've got another system moving in. It's going to be here shortly, but then it should be out by 9 o'clock tonight, so we'll get many hours of drying time.
And the schedule for tomorrow is now officially what?
We're officially 54. We'll finish the second round tomorrow morning. We'll make the cut, repair, and start round 3, and hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, have a champion at the end of the day.
And are there any scenarios where this could potentially go into a Monday finish?
Well, sure. I mean, we've got a pretty good forecast till about 2 or 3 o'clock tomorrow. 20% chance. There is the possibility of pop-ups. And then after 2 or 3 o'clock, we're going to jump to 40%. So if we should stop and not be able to finish 54 tomorrow, we would use Monday to complete 54.
Okay, we appreciate your time. One last question, though. Looking back to the beginning of the week with the forecast we had, are you amazed that we've gotten in as much golf as we have to this point already?
Yes, I'm glad I didn't make any bets because Thursday was unbelievable. If you had told me at the end of the day we would not have had one delay, I would have bet a lot of money that we would have. So Thursday was magic, and then Friday kind of caught up with us a little bit, and today we paid for all that magic on Thursday.
All right, fingers crossed for everybody involved. Thank you so much for your time, Sue.
Thank you, Jerry. Have a good night.
Grant, back to you.
Okay, Jerry, Sue, thank you. The practice facilities are open. Chris Tomales and others taking advantage. You don't have a dangerous situation. There's not electricity in the air. It's just, as you can see, a lot of puddling. And so play has been suspended. Yeah, it is very... It is. All right, Grant Boone and Hall of Fame member Judy Rankin. This is not the broadcast we wanted to bring you today. Not a shot has been hit, and we hope to be hitting golf balls tomorrow morning.
Yeah, for sure. This is so frustrating for players. And with what happened at Dallas, it just sort of builds the frustration. But who you really feel for are the sponsors and all the people who work in these communities to bring an event on a particular week, which could be a very beautiful week, and it could be not so beautiful. And we have had not so beautiful this week.
I don't want to overstate the efforts and turn it into something it's not, but when you look at what this crew has done, in many cases, I'm talking about the green staff, the field crew out there, knowing that a lot of the work they were doing was probably going to get washed out, just to give the players and fans something to hope for, it really was remarkable.
Can I try to describe to you a tweet that someone put up, which is someone sitting in their car with the steering wheel and beating their head on the steering wheel, and it said, that is the grounds crew after they have left one more time after working for 6 or 8 hours to make a course playable that isn't playable again.
Well, we do know this. We knew that the morning wave from round 2 all finished, and in fact 4 groupings from the afternoon wave finished yesterday. There are 60 players who need to finish up. That means we need about 2 more hours of clear weather to play tomorrow. They are playing preferred lies, lift, clean, in place, which gives them a better chance. NG Chun, she's had a lot of success around here. She shot 62 a couple of years ago, which matched the course record. She finished runner-up to Lexi Thompson last year, though it was 5 shots in arrears. Hall of Fame member Kari Webb playing well. We hope to be playing golf again tomorrow. We've got highlights from yesterday when we come back. Today's coverage is brought to you by Kingsmill.
Is it an otter or a beaver, or what is that? Is that an otter or a beaver? It's a beaver. That color, isn't it? Or is it I think only a beaver is that brown color. No one's speaking to me.
I don't know what it is.
But that doesn't have a beaver's tail. They have a paddle tail. It's a ground.
So if it sees its shadow.
Well, I knew it wasn't a beaver. Had no paddle tail. He's a cute little guy. Oh, his home is in there, I guess.
Look at this dude.
What is that?
It's an ant.
Oh. Wish I could ship this to West Texas.
Yeah.
set foot on the first tee, you can't wait to play that first hole and then see what's next and what's right around the corner. Visually, just a very pleasing golf course, and it challenges.
Very dear friend.
I'm sure. You got a girl coming from Midland to play tennis.
At ACU?
It is unbelievable. Her name's Allison Stewart.
At ACU?
I think so.
I can't wait to meet her.
She's really good. And both of her parents are tennis pros.
The women's coach at ACU is the brother-in-law of Jackson Brickman. You know that name, don't you?
But this girl, she should be going to a big school. But, well, no, you know what I mean.
Golf Channel and the LPGA Tour proudly present the season-long race to the CME Globe. From Kings Mill Resort in Virginia, it's continuing coverage of the Kings Mill Championship presented by Geico. Well, the rain continues to fall here just a few miles from Williamsburg, and an already rainy week got even more so Friday. Heavy rains overnight Thursday night into Friday delayed the start of round 2 for an hour. Then the rains really came again late in the afternoon on Friday. There was a delay, and then finally at 7:25 last night, play was called. Then earlier today, in fact, even earlier than this, 2 a.m., the crews began arriving to get the course ready for play, and then another squall came in. Some incredible efforts by a very dedicated team to get this course playable, and finally, not too long ago, play was called for the rest of this Saturday. So we are keeping an eye on the sky and our fingers crossed for play tomorrow. Second round play has been suspended. We'll get you caught up here with our tournament summary brought to you by Volunteers of America, Grant Boone and Hall of Fame member Judy Rankin. Second round officially suspended last night, 7:25. We were going to resume at 7:30 this morning. They kept pushing that resumption of play back, but too much rain was falling. It's officially been reduced to 54 holes. And Judy, we're keeping our fingers crossed for that many.
Yeah, you have to, because the forecast is a little grim. It's too bad we can't play golf under a dome.
You wish you could sometimes. Okay, for the latest from the LPGA, let's send it down to our colleague, Jerry Foltz.
Thank you, Grant. I'm here with LPGA Vice President of Rules and Competition, Sue Witters. We see Sue quite often, usually under unfortunate circumstances like this. But before we get into the different scenarios and hypotheticals, I think we all owe a huge debt of gratitude to Superintendent Mike Pierce and his crew, don't we?
Here, here. I mean, they have been unbelievable. Out at here at 3 o'clock in the morning, Mike and his crew have just been on it from day one. And big thank you. I know they've worked so hard, and they were so disappointed today with the weather we did get. And my heart breaks for them because they really turned it out.
Hopefully tomorrow the fruits of their labor will be seen in an exciting and hopefully sunny finish. Where do we stand right now from a course condition standpoint?
Well, we took on over 1.2 inches today, and we got a lot more in that first burst than we thought we were going to, which pretty much put us out of business. Course is extremely wet. This non-rain weather is fantastic for it. It'll help it dry out. A little bit of wind is really good. We've got another system moving in. It's going to be here shortly, but then it should be out by 9 o'clock tonight, so we'll get many hours of drying time.
And the schedule for tomorrow is now officially what?
We're officially 54. We'll finish the second round tomorrow morning. We'll make the cut, repair, and start round 3, and hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, have a champion at the end of the day.
And are there any scenarios where this could potentially go into a Monday finish?
Well, sure. I mean, we've got a pretty good forecast till about 2 or 3 o'clock tomorrow. 20% chance. There is the possibility of pop-ups. And then after 2 or 3 o'clock, we're going to jump to 40%. So if we should stop and not be able to finish 54 tomorrow, we would use Monday to complete 54.
Okay, we appreciate your time. One last question, though. Looking back to the beginning of the week with the forecast we had, are you amazed that we've gotten in as much golf as we have to this point already?
Yes, I'm glad I didn't make any bets because Thursday was unbelievable. If you had told me at the end of the day we would not have had one delay, I would have bet a lot of money that we would have. So Thursday was magic, and then Friday kind of caught up with us a little bit, and today we paid for all that magic on Thursday.
All right, fingers crossed for everybody involved. Thank you so much for your time, Sue.
Thank you, Jerry. Have a good night.
Grant, back to you.
Okay, Jerry and Sue, thank you. We're not in a dangerous situation. There's not electricity in the air, so the practice facilities are open, and Chris Tamullis and Panarotanapu Bunyaras and some others are taking advantage. Kelly Sean, practice putting green, and we are in a holding pattern as we hope to resume play tomorrow. Welcome to Kingsmill. Judy, this is not the broadcast we wanted to bring everyone, is it?
No, and it's really frustrating for players, and it particularly is on top of what happened in Dallas when they had such weather issues. So it's very frustrating for players. It's very frustrating for people who are just itching to get out there and play golf. But I think when you look at the big picture, it's really, really hard on all the sponsors and all the people in a community who work to bring a tournament on a particular week. And then it's such a disappointment this way. But people are all in good spirits.
I overheard one of the members of the tournament committee ordering more buses to be brought in because there were such great crowds the first 2 days. This is a disappointment. There is a nice group out here watching some of the players practice, but as you look toward tomorrow, there are 60 players who need to finish up round 2. Basically, we need a couple of hours to finish 36 holes, but then they'll turn right around and start round 3, and so we keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You keep your fingers crossed because the forecast worsens through the day.
Yeah.
There is a good chance, though, that it might happen because I don't think anybody here thought Thursday was going to happen.
That's true. We've gotten off a little better than what we thought given the forecast. And we've got a great leaderboard. When you look at NG Chun, twice a major champion on top. She's finished her first 2 rounds. And you see Austin Ernst, Nasa Hataoka, age 19. You got the winner here a couple of years ago, Ari Jatanagarn. And second-year player Angel Yen, Hall of Fame members as well. We've got coverage from Friday, second round, when we come back to Kingsmill. Today's coverage is brought to you by Kingsmill, Williamsburg, Virginia's only AAA 4-diamond waterfront condominium resort. CME Group, how the world advances. And by Win Grips, the best grips in golf.
Kingsmill Championship, day 2. In-Ji Chun on the tee at the 5th. Par 5. Excuse me, par 5. Par 3.
161 yards. That hole is sort of 2/3 of the way back, and that is not where you want to miss it.
Yeah, a little too
Short-sighted
aggressive
yourself.
there.
Let's take a look at our course setup presented by the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America. Pete Dye designed back in 1975. PGA Tour played it from 1981 to 2002 here, and a lot of our Golf Channel colleagues have won here, including John Mahaffey, Jim Gallagher Jr., Nota Begay, David Duval,
Yeah,
Lanny
I
Watkins.
talked yesterday about it just being an inspiring golf course. The minute you set foot on the first tee, you can't wait to play that first hole and then see what's next and what's right around the corner. Visually, just a very pleasing golf course, and it challenges every aspect of your game.
The beauty here is universal. Players from all over the world have talked about coming here and just enjoying the scenery here. And it is a major championship caliber test, as evidenced, Tom, by all the major champions who've won here.
Incredible list of winners, both on the men's side and the women's. Of course, the ladies have played since 2003 when Grace Park was the winner. Now NASA for the birdie.
And Tom, again, last year for NASA, she missed far more cuts than she made. Her best finish was tied for 15th in Portland late in the season. But a renewed confidence, having won those events in Japan late in the season and then winning Q School. And I think also traveling with her mother this year, maybe having someone in her court.
Her mother named her NASA after NASA, the space agency, because she felt like she needed her daughter to shoot for the stars.
Well, yesterday she had liftoff here at the 17th, already having a good round, and it got really, really good in a hurry.
Well, this is a absolute perfect 5-iron. And what fun to see a hole-in-one for the first time as a professional. She'll remember that forever.
What's your hole-in-one count?
2.
2.
Only 2.
I'm just 2 behind you. And that ace for NASA, Taoka, led
She
to
had
her 66.
A neat shot that was posted on Twitter of her with her 5-iron holding the ball.
Great. And now something perhaps even more important, definitely more important, in the offing. Tied for the lead, looking for her first victory. To the 5th.
In-Ji Chun, as Kay mentioned, has put herself in a little spot of bother here. It'll just depend, Kay, on the lie, which,
Well, you know, you can see a little bit of that ball. She's going to really take this lob wedge and lay it open, grip down on it for better control, and try to keep accelerating through this thick, wet rough. Oh, boy. And she went right under it.
yeah. Well, it's actually given her a chance for a 3. But it wasn't pretty, was it?
No, and she almost kind of decelerated. She cut short that backswing, decelerated a little bit, but just got under it.
Let's go to the other side of the course. The 14th. Here's Megan Kang. 5th hole of the day. 7 under is the lead.
This played one of the tougher holes on the course, the 5th toughest yesterday. They moved the tee up a little bit here like they did on several of the holes. In fact, the course playing about 170 yards shorter today than it did yesterday.
Parents from Laos. Megan Kang now within 2.
Over at the 7th, Austin Ernst has a chance to go 2 shots ahead. She's got an eagle putt.
She started working with Gareth Raflewski, who has worked with quite a few LPGA players out here. He's a putting specialist. She started working with him at the end of December. She has always been a very strong ball striker, Tom, but the putting aspect of her game was very inconsistent. She's changed everything from the setup to the stroke path. She had far too much of her hands involved in the stroke, initiating more from the shoulders now. And obviously, it's been paying off. She hasn't yet had a top 10 finish, though, this year. So showing more consistency, making a lot of cuts. But this past winner wants to get back in the winner's circle.
As her one victory on the LPGA Tour came at the Cambia Portland Classic in 2014. I'm rather surprised that she hasn't followed that up with another win. It's been almost 4 years.
Here's our defending champion, Lexi Thompson, at the 6th. 20 under par last year, a tournament record.
22 birdies made with only 2 bogeys.
Amazing. 5.
Brooke Henderson going to work with her sister Brittany on this putt. Coming off a birdie on the last hole.
New putter that she is holding on to this week. The old style Answer, the newer version.
Went back to Canada, and the break between the last tournament and this event was the first time she'd gone back home since before Christmas, and spending time at her home in Florida over the winter, which is a good decision. Little slow coming back up the hill there.
Does anyone play more golf than Brooke Henderson?
Loves golf, loves playing competitive
The Guards
golf.
are close.
They're close. With the sister acts. It's either an LPGA Tour event. She played in the Diamond Resorts at the beginning of the year, which was that PGA Tour Champions LPGA hybrid event, and then always in charity events. Angel Yen, won on the Ladies European Tour late last year, and you think it's sooner rather than later before she wins out here, don't you, Kay?
Most definitely. She is so talented, has a great attitude. She's just 19 years old, so still honing the craft and kind of working on the little details of this game.
How hard is that?
It's hard. I mean, most people do this in, the later years of their junior golf or in college, but Angel bypassed going to college and turned professional. Coming off her personal best finish a few weeks ago up at the Mediheel, which was played at Lake Merced Golf Club.
Born in LA. Back to 5.
It's been a good save here for Inji Chun. Yeah, well done. Inji, of course, was very much in the mix last year. Played with Lexi Thompson, that final group. It was, if I remember correctly, there was a big momentum swing very early in the round when Inji, she 3-putt and Lexi made a putt, and it looked like she was going to have a chance for birdie. Ended up being Lexi was the one who made the birdie, and it sort of set the trend for the rest of the day, and Lexi would run away with it. Now, Austin Ernst.
This to avoid the dreaded 3-putt par on a par 5. Oh, that looks solid. Perhaps this newfound confidence with the putter is going to take her to new heights this year.
Back to 6.
And a par putt for Lexi Thompson. And a nice par save at 5. And back to even par. You have the leaders at -7. A lot of golf to go, at least scheduled. There's more rain in the forecast. Amazing that we're playing. Tremendous work by the green staff. Austin Ernst with that 2-putt birdie has taken the lead. 1 hour delay this morning after another deluge hit about 6:30 a.m. local time, but we are on the course playing round 2. Austin Ernst, 2-putt birdie at the par 5 7th. She has moved into the lead. 2016 champ Ariya Jutanugarn, Nasa Hataoka, age 19 from Japan, and In-Ji Chun, twice a major champion at 7 under. Angel Yen, J. Marie Green looking for career victories #1. Same for Megan Kang, the young American. Minjee Lee won here back in 2015 as an 18-year-old. Her fellow countrywoman, or her fellow Aussie, Kari Webb, 4 under with her. First of 9 straight weeks of LPGA Tour golf, a couple of major championships in the middle of that 9-week stretch. Christy Kerr, the 3-time champion. In fact, she was runner-up the very first playing of this event back in 2003. To 7.
Third shot coming up for Ariya.
It's pretty wet in these fairways.
Have you got your waterproof shoes on, Jerry?
You know, I thought they might bend, but as it turns out, they're not. It squishes everywhere. My shoes are getting quite squeaky. And I'm not the only one. And I think from a player standpoint, the biggest issue is you're playing lift, clean, and place, which is fine. So you might just decide that you don't even try and take relief from casual water and just find the driest spot within a club length of your ball. It is phenomenal. And I know you've already stressed it. I don't want to keep beating the same tune, but it's phenomenal. We're playing golf right now.
Just a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes. The ownership group that took over Kingsmill a few years ago owned a number of courses around the US, and they brought in maintenance staff from other courses to help out this week, and so they have a good group of people behind the scenes, and they're all getting up very early, pretty much in the middle of the night, to deal with the overnight rain and come out and see what they face in the mornings. But they've done a very good job of getting it tournament ready as best they can. Now Nelly's playing here.
He's playing it the good old-fashioned way, a little, well, pitch and run. Nicely done under the hole there. Not a tough putt.
It's been a tough run because they had a very harsh winter here. Very cold winter that lasted far longer than the golfers in this area would have liked.
We go to the 6th and we find In-Ji Chun.
It was interesting, after her round of 65 yesterday, she said she felt off a little bit in the morning, and she called and talked to her coach, and he kind of calmed her down and said, just, you know, take some deep breaths on the golf course. And it's interesting that players of all level, at the highest level, still have some anxiety, or you wake up and you just don't feel settled, you don't feel like you're in a groove, but she found it.
Oh, she nearly found the bottom of the hole with that second shot. So that's going to be a tap in for In-Ji Chun at the 6th to join Austin Ernst at -8. 7.
Jutanugarn playing. And not releasing as she would have liked. Back to 6.
And big sister Moria Jutanugarn playing with In-Ji Chun and Brooke Henderson.
Her feet, you can just barely see her ankles out standing in the primary rough, but hitting out of the intermediate cut.
And now we can't see her ball, and we won't be able to see her feet with the next shot either, I wouldn't imagine. Got the breakthrough victory back in Los Angeles as we go back to check in on a past winner here 3 times.
Yeah, she won in 2005, 2009, and 2013.
She's overdue, based on the math.
Yeah, you're right, Jerry.
Jerry, she's won well over $1 million here.
Well, I would be tempted to buy a place here. I like it here so much, Kay. Christy, though, I really think if she starts making some putts, which she's known to do, this one turning big left, I think she has a huge advantage over a lot of other players in these conditions, because she really picks the ball, rarely takes a divot. And when the fairways are this wet, that's a huge advantage. So is that.
And these pure greens highlight her putting prowess. They really do. And there's no secret as to why she's won 3 tons out here, being one of the best ever on the putting greens.
There you go. Career finishes for Christy Kerr at Kingsmill. Played in all 14 of the Kingsmill Championships. We mentioned the years that she's won, but you can see it's not just those years where she's played well here. There have been brushes with victories for Kerr, including the very first playing in 2003 when Grace Park was the winner. There are homes for sale here, beautiful homes right on the James River, Jerry, in case you're wondering about maybe buying a place.
I've already checked into it. They're a little out of my tax bracket.
No.
Area got a good read off Christy. Saw it snap left late.
Just a 5 as we go to the 8th.
So Inji Chun hasn't yet tapped in. They're at 6, so it is on Austin Ernst alone at the top at 8 under.
Now, Austin's one of those players that's not fearful of being in the lead. She had a tremendous amateur record. She won the NCAA championships. She played on all the top level amateur teams, Curtis Cup World Amateur Team. Played on her first Solheim Cup team and did quite well.
Won a couple of matches with Paula Creamer.
Exactly. She doesn't fear or feel that extra pressure. I think she relishes it. For her, it's just getting in that position more often.
She wasn't crazy about that strike. It didn't sound like as we go back to 7.
And Nelly Corder with this to get to 3 under.
Almost straight under the hole. Slow putt, but not a tough one.
Projected cut is 1 under par right now. And Nelly just 1 shot away from that number. Doesn't want to make too many mistakes. Austin Ernst has a 1-shot lead here. You can see the quality of players on the first page.
Okay. Yep. That'd be great. I've got it, yeah. Yeah. Did not see it. I saw the crown page, if that's what you're saying. Yeah. Michelle's 18th and Angel's 50th in the world rankings. And there are a handful of players in between her, but again, a win would, something like this week could move her up. But she has until the KPMG. The teams are finalized in 2 weeks. Yeah. Not on camera, though, right? Okay. The Web.com Tour is in Greenville, South Carolina, and the surrounding area, the upstate of South Carolina, for the BMW Charity Pro-Am. You've got Justin Thomas from Alabama, University of Alabama, #1 in the world. Robbie Shelton, another Crimson Tide player, in the lead there at the BMW Charity Pro-Am. We're back with you at the Kings Mill Resort on this Saturday afternoon. No golf shots have been struck today because of the heavy rains that are in the area. NG Chun leads it. She finished her second round yesterday. So did Angel Yin. She shot 66, just like NG Chun. The practice facilities are open, and there is Angel Yin, who will turn 20 in October. She, Judy, was one of the stars of the U.S. Solheim Cup team. Brought a lot of energy and a whole lot of big tee shots to that U.S. victorious team.
Well, she really did, and it is not easy for a captain to use one of her picks on a rookie. And enough people saw enough in this young player, Angel Yin, that Julie Inkster just dove in, and boy, was she a great addition to the team. I remember a tee shot she hit in Des Moines that was measured at 347. And it's not just length and strength. Watch this technique. She just has a sense and a feel for the game.
I think Julie saw something more than just the golf game in her, though, didn't she? She saw something personality-wise that she thought would work well in the room. Absolutely.
Sometimes Angel gets in front of a mic, and she's very reserved and very quiet. But when Angel is not in front of a mic, she is a real live wire, and she has a great sense of humor. And I think that sort of abounding youth was very good for the U.S. team.
Just a drop in the bucket so far. It's just her second year on the LPGA Tour. There's another team competition that she has her sights set on, and that is the UL International Crown coming up in October in South Korea. So 8 teams will make it, and the top 4 in the world rankings from each of the 8 teams make it. Right now, Michelle Wie is locking down that 4th and final spot, which is 18th in the world rankings. Angel is 50th. But a big weekend, a big day tomorrow could go a long way toward Angel perhaps moving in to one of those top 4 spots. The top 8 teams will be solidified following the conclusion of the U.S. Women's Open in a couple of weeks, but the top 4 on each of those 8 teams won't be determined until the end of the KPMG Women's PGA.
She hasn't had the most spectacular early part of the year, but a player like Angel Yin is explosive, and anything can happen any day or any week.
The weather's been explosive this week. Second round was suspended last night, 7:25. We were not able to play at all today because of the heavy rain. It's officially been reduced to a 54-hole event, and the second round, fingers crossed, will resume tomorrow morning at 7:30 Eastern Time. That's the latest. For now, we go back to our coverage from Friday's round 2. To the 7th.
Third shot for Lexi Thompson. Okay, I'm guessing these shots can be very tricky with the conditions that we're seeing out there.
They can, because subconsciously you know how soft that ground is, and these are tight lies. You want to just nip it to hit that little spinny shot, and you know if you just goose it a little bit, you might hit it thin or hit too much turf and hit it fat. It takes a lot of confidence. And Lexi, we know, takes a pretty big, deep divot most of the time.
Oh, she was looking for that one to spin. Not exactly what she would have wanted. To 8.
26-year-old Austin Ernst tied with NG Chun. This a lengthy one for birdie at the 8th hole.
I've seen quite a few players hole very long putts. Because these greens are so pure, if you get it going on the right line, it will maintain that line. But she's kind of putting up and over a little ridge. Just needs to hit it a little extra firmly.
And it will roll out a bit. Still some speed despite all the moisture. 15.
Third shot for Megan Kang. Very similar spot to Nasa Hataoka. In her 3rd year on the LPGA Tour as Megan. And it's been a good season so far, but not quite to a level that maybe she's challenging to win, although she's got the game to get it done out here. You could say the same for Angel Yin. She may need to just learn how to win, Kay, and how to control her game.
And I think it's really hard for someone like Angel who knows how much physical talent she has. She hits it so far, hits pure iron shots, and she probably wants it to happen right now. And she feels like she could potentially dominate every week, but you have to let it happen. And you have to be very patient. And a lot of youngsters don't have an abundance of patience.
Yeah, just 19 years of age.
Lydia Ko, for example, at age 14, seemed to have the patience of a 40-year-old.
Angel does have a win on the Ladies European Tour. She won one of the biggest events, the Omega Dubai Ladies Classic in December. And that would be a good stepping stone for Angel Yin to win out here on the LPGA. It'll give her a lot of confidence. Laura Davies for a birdie. And she will be very happy to make that, because that takes her to 1 under par and puts her in for the weekend. That was a moment ago. Now live on the tee at 17 with Danielle Kang.
This hole only playing 110 yards today, some 59 yards closer than it played yesterday.
Yes, this is not the 17th hole that Pete Dye designed for tournament golf, but I think officials making a smart decision with the forecast for this afternoon, the fact that there was an hour delay this morning. They need to get players around the golf course as quick as they can, and to still keep the integrity of tournament golf, and why not move it forward and have a little fun.
Tom, this is the spot where she had the ace.
And I tell you what, it's on for another hole-in-one today with the way that the hole is set up.
She's got a great opportunity of it. Lining up looks like maybe just a tad right. Little abbreviated backswing and follow through. Oh,
wow. We would have had to get out the record books.
That would have been so cool.
I know Laura Diaz made holes-in-one on consecutive days, I believe, in a tournament a few years ago. I'd have to look that up. But this was yesterday.
This was
Nasa Hataoka.
a 5-iron, 169 yards.
First hole-in-one as a professional. And Nasa Hataoka, who's having an incredible season on the LPGA Tour, and it just gets better and better.
So cool.
That was part of her opening round of 66. And she almost did it again. Now Megan Kang for the birdie at the 15th to get to 6 under. Just a couple of shots back. Finished 5th earlier this year. Has had a 12th place finish in 2018. And that's 3 birdies in a row.
All right, so Austin Ernst at the 8th, tied for the lead. This to stay tied. I know it's Friday morning, but putts like that keep the momentum going. She stays at 8 under, tied with NG Chun. Nasa Hataoka is about to get to 8 under as well after she nearly jarred her tee shot at the 17th for a second straight day.
Back on the 7th hole, Angel Yin to get 7 under.
Angel works very hard on her putting. Spends a lot of time on the practice putting green with various drills. Really nice stroke there. Ah, beautiful. Great rhythm. You see that the same tempo back and through with the best putters.
Back at the 17th, Danielle Kang has this for birdie. We mentioned Laura Diaz making 2 holes in 1 in a tournament. There have actually been 4 players in total to have made 2 holes in 1 in the same tournament, but never on the same hole. So if Nasser had holed out, that would have been a first in LPGA history. The last player to make 2 holes in 1 in a tournament was Ayako Uehara, 2016 Canadian Pacific Women's Open at Pritis Greens. Well done. Good 2. Laura Diaz did it at the Aviara Golf Club where they play the Kia Classic. Jenny Lidback and Joanne Washman are the other 2 players.
One off the lead, Ariya Jutanugarn at the 8th. Jerry?
170 up the hill, into a little breeze after a long iron off the tee. That was a 7-iron on a good line.
Jerry, this starts a stretch of 3 holes that are the 3 the most challenging on the golf course.
And this one's one of the most difficult tee shots of the year.
17 again.
Nasa Hataoka to get to 8 under par and tie the lead.
I don't know how it didn't go in.
The pitch mark was about 3 inches away from the cup.
Yeah, I guess that's how, but
She was trying for the slam dunk.
yeah.
And keep this inside the hole. Just inside left edge.
1-2.
Gorgeous.
First 2 rounds. In fact, if you played it 1, 2, 3, 4, it wouldn't be a bad aggregate score on this hole, would it?
2 under.
I think there'd be a lot of players that would take that for the week. Back to the 7th. Short-haired Inji Chun. Second shot.
Some might think when you cut your hair off, you lose some power.
The Samson effect.
But I don't think that's true.
Well, she's almost got there in 2, so I don't think that rings true with Inji. 3 players tied for the lead. It is the 2nd round. We are playing at the Kingsmill Championship.
Along the James River, the North Banks begins forming in the Appalachian Mountains and flows down to Chesapeake Bay. And we are happy that the moisture has been removed from much of the golf course here, Jerry, and Ariya Jutanugarn has a chance to get back a share of the lead.
She does, but this putt has a few little subtleties to contend with. A little uphill at first, going a little right, and then it goes slightly downhill about halfway there and should die slightly left. Got a good read from Christy Kerr, who just narrowly missed hers from longer range, and narrow miss there, and it just continues to run.
And Austin Ernst ran hers past some 6 feet. Well, it was 2 years ago that Ariya Jutanugarn finally had broken through, won in Alabama, and then came here to Kingsmill. Shot 65 in the third round, got to 10 under par, had a one-shot lead over Inji Chun and a couple of others. Second shot at the 9th, and a beauty. To about 3 feet, she would make birdie. And then at the par 5 15th, great power, but how about the touch of Ari Jitanagar?
That's what makes her so amazing, is she has that power with the finesse.
So she, with birdie there, she goes to 18. She's got to make this to win it by 1, and she does. So clutch putts in Alabama, clutch putts here at Kings Mill. She would win the next week in Ann Arbor as well. We knew it, didn't we? We kept saying once she wins one of them, the floodgates are going to open, and did they ever?
And it seems so sensible that her nickname is May.
She swept the entire month of May in 2016. Take a look at the past champs. Tournament record 20 under par, broke Annika's record. That was the 72nd and final victory of Annika Sorenstam's career right here in 2008, a decade ago.
And Lexi with those 4 rounds in the 60s, 3 of them 65s.
Incredible. She's right around the cut line at the moment.
Moria Jitanagar, third shot here at the 7th and the par 5.
Her goal would be to get this within 5 feet. And not as good as she would have liked.
Coming towards the end of the first 9 holes in this second round, Austin Ernst second to the 9th. Flag today tucked way back in the back right of the green. Brings that bunker short right into play.
And the second shot plays a little bit longer uphill, and wow, she badly missed that one.
Yeah, it's going to be a tricky bunker shot right below the level of the green, and Inji Chun just hiding behind the flagstick.
And Tom, well, she knows that this green slopes from right to left, but then watching Moria's chip shot, she has to realize she's got to play it much higher and let it turn from right to left and get the distance right.
2 wins for Inji Chun, both in majors. Oh, that took a funny hop, didn't it? Kicked straight left. I mean, that green slopes that way, but you shouldn't kick it that far to the left.
She must have had some right to left spin on the shot as well.
Austin Ernst ran her putt at 8, passed about 6 feet, made it coming back. Here's Area for par.
Yeah, but she just witnessed fellow competitor Nelly Korda 4-putt it for triple. You got to block that out of your mind. It, you know, it shouldn't matter, but sometimes it does when you just stand there and watch that happen just before you have to putt one of the similar length that she missed twice.
So bogeys at 6 and 8 after taking the lead with 3 birdies in her first 5. She leads the LPGA Tour in birdies in large part because she's so good, but then also because she plays so often.
Well, I think Moria's third on the list. Between the two of them, they have well over 300 birdies on the year.
Brooke Henderson's always up there as well because those players play the most. And right on cue, Tom, Brooke Henderson.
That's great producing from our team in the truck.
And her sister, a very fine player in her own right, put her own career on hold to come out and assist her sister. And they work very well together. Brittany obviously knows her sister's game better than anybody.
It's a family affair. Dad has been basically the only golf coach that she's had. They're a very close family. Very sporty family as well. Father was a hockey player, played in college. I think he played a little minor league hockey as well. And then got into the teaching profession.
Well, this obviously has quite a bit of right to left break. And she needs to hit it at the apex and then just let it filter down to the left. The problem is the higher you hit it, the more speed it gains coming off that hill.
I don't think Austin Ernst got all the way down into the bunker. Able to see the flag and able to give it a good run. So that's a good 4 for her there. No trouble at all. And Austin Ernst going along well.
Angel Yin won't turn 20 until October. Here she is, one off the lead at the 8th. She was a rookie on the Solheim Cup team, but in many ways she was the energy leader, wasn't she?
She was, and it was actually, I believe, at Thornbury, she was paired with Christy Kerr, and Christy was so impressed with Angel, she got right in Captain Julie Inkster's ear and said, this gal has to be on the team.
Back at 7.
Mario Jutanagan now for her birdie. Winner at Wilshire Country Club, a huge JTBC LA Open, which was a new event this year and one of the most successful events I think I've been to in its first year. It was a fabulous week right in the heart of Hollywood. I think it'll only get better in years to come. A lot of support from that club.
Pretty good course to have on your resume as your first win.
Yeah. An emotional victory for Mario, who'd been battling away, trying to get herself into the winner's circle and finally managed to do it. Missed it on the pro side, but may have expected her to make it considering this stat. The Jutanagans are pretty good when it comes to making birdies, which will bode well for the team competition, the pairs competition they're going to play next summer up in Michigan.
You're sure they're playing together?
Well, I would be shocked if they did. Also bodes well for the UL Crown.
It's going to be interesting to see how the players choose their partners, whether they're close friends, whether their games complement each other.
Inji Chun for the outright lead. Well, she certainly fits into the mold of major winners at Kingsmill, 2 majors to her credit.
So, Tom, most players are looking for that first major win. She's only won majors. She's looking for her first regular event win.
Just a 5 for Inji. 2 under for the day. And we'll go to the tee at the 9th, and Eri Jutanagan.
Playing into the breeze. Driver not in the bag this week. 3-wood being used only on rare occasion. This one up the left.
Jerry, she had her driver in the bag on the Pro-Am day, and on this tee she blew it way right. Maybe that led into the decision not to put it in the bag.
All right, one of our 3 leaders at the 18th, her 9th hole of the day, 19-year-old Nasa Hataoka. Firing darts on these receptive greens here to 7.
The Ottawa 67s, that was the team her father played for. A semi-pro team, and he played hockey for the University of Toronto. And his daughter, Brooke, played as a goalie when she was growing up.
The hockey mentality permeates the game.
It's she says it taught her quite a lot of good mental strength. 3 tied for the lead here at the Kingsmill Championship.
Inspired me to get a haircut yesterday.
I drove from the compound. I hope I can get back.
Yeah. Oh, we have nuts. May I?
Yeah, have a nut.
After I grabbed one, then I asked. Okay. Copy. Is that Brian Hennessy? 6. Thank you. Good rehearsal. The NCAA championships are upon us Monday. Individual champion is crowned, and the teams will qualify for the team competition Tuesday and Wednesday. We've got it for you on Golf Channel beginning Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time from Karsten Creek in Stillwater, Oklahoma. And there are 6 NCAA champions in the field this week. All of them are currently inside the cut line, including Stacy Lewis, Arthur Munoz, from defending team champion Arizona State, Emma Talley. Austin Ernst just a shot back. Annie Park has played well the last month. Oh, there's
Hi,
Angel.
Beth. Hi. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm a little close.
You can hear Angel Yin from anywhere, just about. She was saying hello to Beth Hutter, our producer. And though we have no golf, there is still some fun to be had here on the grounds of Kings Mill Resort. Got a lovely spa and some players giving some autographs here to some youngsters. Not a dangerous situation, no electricity in the air, so still a chance for players to get out onto the range, have a few pictures taken on the practice putting green, and sign some autographs for young fans here. Who knows, they may be on the LPGA Tour before too long themselves.
I'll be looking out for you. If you don't
Angel
follow
Yin's
us,
not
we'll
much
feel
older
it.
than some of these, just 19 years old. Look at this. It's an early dinner. Yes. Judy, surf and turf. What do
I'm
we
not
have
really
here?
good at the circle of life thing.
This is how the leaderboard looks. There are 60 players who still have to finish the second round. We're going to try to get them started tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. No shots at all have been hit today. In-Ji Chun is alone atop the leaderboard, and she is the solitary figure on the practice tee as the rain falls here. Twice a major champion. How about this? This is the 40th anniversary, Judy, of Nancy Lopez winning everything in sight. Rookie of the Year, Player of the Year, Vare Trophy. 2 years ago, she was Rookie of the Year and won the scoring title. She won a major championship that year. She's won 2 majors. But not unlike Lydia Ko a few weeks ago in San Francisco, breaking that 2-year victory drought. It's been almost a couple of years since In-Ji Chun has last won.
Yeah, no win for In-Ji in the 2017 season, but she was second 4 times.
Yeah.
This is a remarkable player. She has that beautiful rhythm. She never pushes a club harder than she should. If you can have a semi-big game and still play within yourself, that's what this player does. She's reasonably, I want to say reasonably long off the tee. I wouldn't call her one of the long hitters, but she's averaging about 255 off the tee. And as soon as you get over that 250 mark, you can play with most anybody. But she is just so consistent, and the golf swing is so technically sound. She almost looks like, the machine, Iron Byron.
Yes.
It rarely is different than what you see right here. And I think it's smart to be out here practicing when it's wet and sloppy, because you're trying to win a golf tournament, and it just might be wet and sloppy when you're trying to get that done.
Well, you mentioned that she has been machine-like. As we look at our consumer cellular worth talking about, look at the numbers. Now, yes, the fairways are wide here and even wider effectively because of the moisture, but not everybody's hitting all but one fairway, and look how many greens she's hit as well.
Well, and she's a player who demands a lot of herself. She's a little bit hard on herself, and you may not see it outwardly, but trust me, I think that she is a little hard on herself when she does not perform well.
She plays with a grace about her, doesn't she? On and off the course, she's a easy player to pull for. And take a look. Yes, we should all have years and a half like In-Ji Chun's bad year and a half.
That's
when
right.
She hasn't won. Makes cut after cut, just racks up big check after big check, but it's about trophies certainly for her.
Well, she really is quite a lovely person. And like I said, if you're going to try to play well in these conditions, coming out here and hitting a few balls isn't the worst idea.
And with the new dew, it's a little more doable. Now, when we showed up at the event in North Texas, we all did double takes. She posted this on social media that she had cut her hair, and again, there are a lot of players with similar dews. But when we saw her, we had to double check. Is that In-Ji Chun? It is indeed. Just 23 years old. And on top of the leaderboard here with play suspended, we get you back to In-Ji Chun and some of the other action from Friday. 8 under par has the lead here. An hour delay earlier this morning because of a deluge that happened overnight. An inch and 1.3 inches. Amazing.
Right.
That they took just overnight.
And they couldn't even, yesterday they got to attending to the golf course at 3 in the morning. Today they had to wait till about 5.
And then they began work, and then another
A squall came
big
in.
squall came through.
Yep.
Kari Webb playing a limited schedule. She got the special exemption into the U.S. Women's Open as a past champion and one of the all-time greats. To the 7th.
And Lauren Coughlin, the rookie. And she's at 2 under par, so in for the weekend at the moment.
Tom, do you know that she went 5 years. She redshirted 1 year at Virginia. And her 5th year, she'd already finished her undergraduate degree. She worked on a master's degree her 5th year while competing, and said it was a pretty packed schedule. That's impressive to get all that done in a year.
It's pretty easy though at the University of Virginia, I hear.
Oh yeah.
No, not a difficult place to
Quite an easy school
get a
to get
degree.
into.
Yeah, easy to get through.
Not so subtle swipe at our esteemed producer. Proud alum.
It's her husband on the bag. He played football for UVA, John Pond.
And it's quite a nice love story between the two of them.
How about these connections, Tom? University of Virginia alums, Brittany Altamari, Lauren Coughlin, and then Elsa Diaz. She has been quite the story this week. Just graduated on Sunday from the University of Richmond. Just played her last collegiate event last Wednesday in the regionals down in Tallahassee. On the first tee yesterday, she turned to the crowd and said, "I'm really nervous." It was like the inner monologue was not working. She just went ahead and said it. She's been a delight.
Back over to the 9th area, Jutanagan for a birdie.
Another little one with some subtlety here, as you get so often around this golf course. Uphill early, and then most of it will be slightly downhill and turning right. From that point forward, not that much right.
Not too bad though.
No.
9th can be a sneaky difficult hole. And area, he was going so well, 3 under through 5 holes in the round, but dropped shots at 6 and 8.
And I'm looking at Austin Ernst here, and speaking of family affairs, her caddy is her brother Drew, and he's been on the bag most of her career. He was a fine golfer himself, played at Coastal Carolina. Her dad, Mark, is a PGA professional at Cross Creek Plantation and is her only coach. So a few stories like that where the whole family is involved.
Coastal Carolina, the alma mater of Dustin Johnson as well. South Carolina folks.
Well, it's very reassuring to have a family member on the bag who's out there for your best interest, not trying to make money or feeling down if you make a few bogeys. They're just really genuinely supporting you because they love you.
J. Marie Green, similar situation.
Yeah, her brother's on the bag as well. Is to get to 8 under.
Well, that is some kind of putter that she's put into the bag.
Yes, when she's traveling and she can't get cable TV, she just sticks that on the side of the room and she can dial up anything on the satellites. Now Megan Kang is for birdie. Get to 7 under.
she looked like she peeked just a teeny bit and watched that slide by instead of staying still.
Now, Lauren Coughlin for birdie. Won the Virginia Women's Amateur in 2012 and 2013, but narrowly missed out on a hat-trick the following year. Lost in the final of the match play. And she did win the stroke play portion in 2014, the stroke play championship. So she pretty much swept amateur golf in this state before turning professional.
She said she's put too much pressure on herself to play well. Needs to let it happen. In fact, I was at dinner with Julie Inkster last night. She came into the restaurant, and Julie and she had a really nice conversation. Julie saying, hey, just trust yourself, relax, let it come to you, play, and know that you have what it takes. It's pretty nice to hear from a Hall of Fame.
And easier said than done, isn't it?
Yeah.
In-Ji Chun, one of 3 leaders at 8 under. You saw the water splash up when she made contact. Ahead to the 9th.
Should be no problem here for Jutanagan. Always get a little nervous when our producer goes to a short putt like that. You think, well, maybe she misses it. That's why we're seeing it. But no problems for Area Jutanagan. Out in 1 under. Well, the water has certainly risen over the last few days with the amount of rain, but they're playing golf here in Kingsmill.
Okay. Okay. Austin Ernst in a 3-way tie for the lead at the 10th for birdie. Year got off to a bit of a painful start. She cut her finger opening a can on the Sunday before the event in the Bahamas. She is fully healthy, and we go back to the tee at that 10th and Area Jutanagarn.
Lengthy par 4, playing a little downwind, but still not going to get much roll.
Talking to her caddy, Les Lure, said she might hit driver 6 to 7 times. But as Jerry pointed out, does not have it in the bag. That was Wednesday. It's a different golf course than it was then. In-Ji Chun, long birdie putt here at the 8th.
And this whole location, players are having a hard time getting all the way back to it. And so it seems like almost everybody has this a 35-footer or so. It's, oh, whoa! A thing of beauty.
You're in the process of saying it was the hardest hole in the course.
Exactly.
And she does that. In-Ji Chun. Talk about all of how long we went into last year without a repeat winner. We got to late June before So Yeon Yu became the first repeat winner. Lydia Ko never won last year. In-Ji Chun didn't win last year. Even with all those different winners. To 7.
Jay Marie to get to 7 under.
Yeah, that round of 6 under yesterday, she still missed 2 or 3 3-footers, she said. So her brother just said, don't worry about it. Don't think about the misses. Just keep doing what you're doing.
This is the opening hole. Nessa Hidioka going down the right side. There's a bunker over there, but I don't think she was in it. And she's going to have a chance for a birdie. Trying to tie In-Ji Chun now. They've got a great setup there, as you can see, by the tee. The 1st and the 10th tees very close together. The 18th is right there as well. Very busy area, great spot for the spectators to gather. They can see on the putting green and watch a bit of golf as well.
See if Brooke Henderson can match In-Ji Chun's long birdie at this 8th. She is finally going to take a week off. We hear next week.
What?
Finally, she's one of a handful. You can count on one hand the number of players who have played all 12 events now.
Reminds me of a player, Sherry Steinhauer, who just she didn't like to practice and stay at home. She'd rather be out playing.
Sure.
So there are players like that just are almost bored being at home. They'd rather be teeing it up.
Always had good crowds here. Some 2,400 homes on property here at Kingsmill. They're developing more, not too many more, but they are developing more home sites here. Some beautiful homes on the market, and the galleries have always been very strong. Folks come down and spend the weekend here and watch the golf. And this local area as well is very popular for golf fans.
So Tom, Angel's best finish, I mentioned, came at the Mediheal at Lake Merced. She shot 67 on that Sunday, which that's one of the tougher courses the women play, and that was just zoomed her up towards the top of the leaderboard. And got a nice paycheck for that, and sort of settled things for her because she hadn't played that great leading up to that point. Played here last year and finished 58th. Her 2nd year on tour, starting to see courses for the 2nd time and getting a sense of what it needs to play it well.
In-Ji Chun leads by 1. In-Ji Chun, 5th on tour in greens in regulation.
And one of the best golf swings out here. That's a good one to replicate.
Another fairway hit. Very important to find the fairway.
At the 10th, Jerry, you were telling us earlier, days like this are why you have preferred lies, lift clean in place.
Yes, they are. That was a 9-iron from 153. I'll get into that a little bit later and give you my reasoning why, Grant.
Okay. To the 1st.
Hidioka for birdie.
Not too much in this putt.
She won the 2016 Japan Women's Open as an amateur, which is a major on the JLPGA Tour. She came back the next year as a pro, won it by 8 shots over Jie Shin.
I think that was part of regaining her sense of who she is as a player, and then returned to Q School and won it.
Speaking of amateurs, you can tee it up in tournament competition at places like this one, Kings Mill Resort, on the Golf Channel Amateur Tour. To learn more and to get your tour card, visit gcamtour.com today. Well, it has been rainy. It has been threatening to absolutely pour each of the last several days. The forecast is still calling for heavy showers in the next couple of days. Incredible, as we say, that we're still playing, and you see playing preferred lies, lift clean in place. This is J. Marie Green.
Yeah, I like what she said yesterday after her round, that her game is in a good spot and that she's finally seen a score that correlates to how she's been playing. And I also love that she said she really wants to get her first win. That's her goal every week. And I like hearing a player verbalize that, not being afraid of verbalizing that.
That could be an awkward pitch. We'll take a look at that one here in a moment. Move ahead to the 10th and Ariya Jutanugarn, Jerry.
As she looks over this birdie putt, Grant, to get back to your point, these conditions are the exact reason the USGA implemented a local rule to play lift clean in place, because there are certain areas on this course today where if you were to try and take relief from casual water, you'd have to take it to the rough, and by definition in the rules you have to take complete relief, so the course would then be unplayable. Lift clean in place was only intended for those situations where you could find an area within a club length of your ball that is still playable, although technically still within casual water. And that is, it's amazing how often we play it when it wasn't really intended for that. I can tell you, John Bodenhammer told me that they've never played a U.S. Open with the ball being played lift clean in place, and he's not sure they've ever played any national championships. He's the top guy with the USGA in charge of rules.
Birdie for Ariya gets her to 7 under. Remember, they did play it up at the PGA Championship at Baltusrol a couple of years ago when Jimmy Walker won. Take a look at your putting average leader. These are putts per round.
And Ariya's another player that works with Gareth Raflewski, and they noticed a little bit of her getting a little too much handsy in her putting strokes, so had her practice putting with a wedge.
Bellying a wedge.
Bellying a wedge, which quiets the handle down and thus keeps your hands quiet. And Christy Kerr,
she can make it with anything.
Here for birdie, she's a firm believer. Her basic fundamental is keep the hands out of it and initiate the stroke with the shoulders.
She's 46 under par in her career here at Kings Mill. I added correctly. 3-time champion. To the second, and we find Stacey Lewis,
who is starting to show a little bit now that she's 16 weeks along in her pregnancy. She said the initial part of her pregnancy was awful. She felt horrible. She is not prone to taking naps, but she took a nap constantly. But now she has a rejuvenated energy, and she's excited to play.
She's going to play a lot in the next few weeks, she said. 11.
If you took a nap constantly, would you just not be asleep all day?
Well, it also happened to coincide with getting over her rib injury.
Austin Ernst, second at the 11th. Par 4, which is 384 on the card.
So Austin won the NCAA championship as an individual in 2011, and today the women are teeing it up for the first round of the NCAA championships.
In Stillwater, Oklahoma. And you'll be able to see coverage next week on Golf Channel, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Busy week. Busy few weeks of golf on Golf Channel. Now, Inji Chun, second.
Not many players have been able to get it all the way back to that hole location. And coming in with a hybrid, that's a good, sensible play.
Then we'll go to the tee at the second.
Nasa Hataoka had an ace at the 17th yesterday, nearly replicated it today. This is her 11th hole of the day, one off the lead.
So, Tom, the ace came at the 17th when it played 169. This is 171, so maybe the magical 5-iron? No, just an average shot.
Just a really good shot with a chance at birdie, that's all. Could be a breakout week for the 19-year-old Nasa Hataoka. NG Chun looking for her first victory in a couple of years. She leads it by 1. Okay. Do.
No tennis.
Okay. 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 Get new golf course layouts and real-time course conditions. Just one of the ways Golf Advisor is working to help you enjoy this game more. Visit golfadvisor.com/layouts. And we are laying out today. No golf. Take a look at the tournament summary. The tournament has been reduced to 54 holes from 72. Second round will resume tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. 60 players still have to finish the second round, then they'll make the cut, top 70 in ties. Current leader NG Chun has finished in the top 10 in her last 2 starts at Kings Mill. Shot 62 back in 2016, runner-up last year behind Lexi. And of the previous 13 playings of this event, 11 times the winner has been a major champion. Grant Boone, Judy Rankin, these young chaps looking for something to cheer for. And there's just nothing to cheer for except the rain.
Well, somebody's going to cheer for them tonight because they're
Yes.
going to say, we saw you on TV.
Yes, they're stars. NG Chun is a star. won a couple of major championships. She is a player who has taken it deep. Record scores in each of her 2 major championships. Nasa Hataoka, 19 years old. She has quite the resume on the Japan LPGA Tour, and she now has a great memory from here at Kingsmill. This was on Thursday at that classic 17th with the James River alongside. 155 on the card and a 5-iron to perfection. Her first ace in competition as a professional. One to remember. Okay. Get new golf course layouts and real-time course conditions. Just one of the ways Golf Advisor is working to help you enjoy this game more. Visit golfadvisor.com/layouts. We've been laying out all day today. Haven't seen a single golf shot. Tournament has been reduced to 54 holes. The second round is going to resume tomorrow morning, weather permitting, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. 60 players still have to finish their second round. The top 70 in ties will make the cut. Then we'll begin round 3. Current leader, In-Ji Chun. A couple of good finishes here the last 2 years. Has a 62 a couple of years ago, tying the course record. And of the previous 13 playings of this event, 11 times the winner has been a major champion. Grant Boone, Judy Rankin, and the rain hasn't dampened the spirits of these young chaps cheering on in advance of tomorrow's resumption of second round. A little slippery when wet, be careful there. In-Ji Chun, our leader, by 1. Nasa Hataoka, just 19 years old. She's won 3 times on her home tour, the Japan LPGA Tour. And does she ever have a memory from here, Judy, on Thursday? In the opening round, she had never had an ace in competition as a professional. She is just 19 years old, but watch what she does here at this iconic 17th at Kingsmill.
Yeah, so it's without wind, which makes a very difficult hole doable, but not that doable. My gosh, what a beautiful shot, and what a thrill for her.
A 5-iron to perfection. And that's a fun walk, isn't it?
It doesn't actually hurt your scorecard either.
No, you put that 1 up there. And then 110 yards yesterday with the threat of inclement weather. They wanted to make this perhaps a little easier, and she made it look even easier than it was. Nearly went back-to-back on the same hole. The pitch mark was about 3 inches away. She has a chance to make that Japan UL International crown team. She is currently second. Ai Suzuki, who's won 3 times already on the Japan LPGA Tour this year, is one of the reasons why the Japanese team is third currently. And those teams will be finalized. Those top 8 teams will be finalized at the conclusion of the U.S. Women's Open in a couple of weeks' time. There is a U.S. Women's Open champion. She tied the all-time scoring record when she won back in 2015. And there she is on the practice putting green. I like what you said earlier. There's a good chance it is going to be rainy tomorrow, so get out there in the bad weather.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to have the feel for the kind of contact you want to make with the golf ball. You know, and it's a nice quiet time to do things like, you know, work on your 4-footers.
All right, so In-Ji Chun, she is done with her first 2 rounds, waiting for the 3rd round to tee off tomorrow. When we come back, we'll continue our coverage from Friday as In-Ji Chun was taking the lead.
Ninth hole here at Kings. Look at that, we've got a shadow. The sun has come out. This is Henderson for a par. Oh, no, 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 no. Seemed to stand over that one for an entirety. 11th hole, Christy Kerr, second shot.
Hit a hook off the tee, just 131 remaining from this fairway bunker. Caught it a little thin, but it might work out.
It's going to scamper up there to see where it finishes, and she's going to be very happy. It's just going to be outside the mark of area Jutanagan, but it should be a birdie for Kerr.
At the 10th, Lexi Thompson, the defending champion, 20 under par last year, right now outside the cut line.
It's got to feel like she's massively over par compared to last year's experience.
Shot 1 under 70 yesterday. Those in the afternoon did have to deal with some of the nettlesome elements that come along with rain. They had the umbrella out, rain gear on, then off, and then the umbrella
Changing
down.
your gloves. But there were still a couple great rounds of 6
Several.
under.
So, as we said, she's in danger of missing the cut, but take a look at what she's done. Not only the win, but the top 10s the previous 3 years. And she
And Lexi's not one to miss many cuts in general.
hasn't
And
missed
then,
one this year.
You know, you come to a course where you feel so comfortable on it, it's unusual to see her not playing better. I would think at least she'd be 4 or 5 under par, and that would be her off performance.
11.
Christy Kerr for birdie. Yeah, really good.
Match play, you don't even make her put that down, do you?
I don't know, maybe you'd see it. Just,
You would.
yeah, I
wouldn't.
would.
She doesn't miss them.
No, she never misses them.
If it were to win the hole, you
Yeah,
got to
you'd
make
see
him.
it. You gotta see
make
him
him
make
putt
it.
it.
Now, if Tom were putting, I'd make him putt this one.
Jutanagan for birdie. Yes. I'll remember that because we're going to finish our match this afternoon.
The match.
The match.
Twitter is a buzz.
Yeah.
For reaction.
Are spectators allowed?
Yes, but it is. I would wear your golf shoes because it might be a little wet out there.
There is a fee.
Yeah. Lauren Coughlin second to the 9th. Going to come in with a lot of club.
And we saw even NG Chun come in with a hybrid, so with the wetness and the little bit more receptive greens comes longer shots in.
It's a pretty good shot though from Lauren Coughlin, who's made a couple of cuts after struggling at the beginning of the season inside the cut line here in adopted home state of Virginia.
We are back at Kings Mill Resort, just a few miles from Williamsburg, Virginia. Grant Boone, Judy Rankin, second round play has been suspended. It actually was suspended last night. Take a look at our tournament summary. There was a delay during the afternoon yesterday, which cost some time. And then it was finally called last night. This morning, they were going to resume at 7:30. Heavy rains came in, never hit a golf shot. No one did today. So the tournament has been officially reduced to 54 holes. And we hope the second round will be back underway 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Sunday. Here's the leaderboard. NG Chun, 11 under. And some work to do for Jessica Korda.
Well, NG Chun is certainly due. She plays this golf course very well. She hasn't won in quite some time, and she's one of the best players out here.
60 players need to finish up, and then we'll play round 2 tomorrow.
What was terrible?
I just said I was supposed to throw it to break and say we've got more of yesterday's coverage, and I said we'll finish up round 2, and then it just I botched it. If we could do it again. Back here at Kings Mill Resort, just outside Williamsburg, Virginia. Grant Boone, Judy Rankin. Second round play has been suspended. We have not seen a golf shot today. There haven't been any. Let's look at our tournament summary, and it's just it's been frustrating. We're fortunate to have this much golf having been played.
We really are. The rains came to this part of the world, and they haven't left.
Yeah. So they were going to finish up the second round this morning, but too much rain. They're hoping that we can resume the second round tomorrow morning. 60 players still have to finish up. The tournament has been reduced to 54 holes. Ideally, we finish up the second round tomorrow morning, then we start and get in the entire third round. Here's the leaderboard. As it sits, NG Chun in the house at 11 under par. Jessica Korda with 4 holes left, 3 shots back.
Yeah, a lot of things could change with those few holes that finished the second round, but the leader, NG Chun, has played this course really well in the past, and she is so due for a win.
Last win came in Evian a couple of years ago. More coverage from Friday when we come back.
Hear that, Bickett? Yeah, I know.
Come on, camera. What's coming up next? Web.com or Golf Central? I won't even say it.